Ali Dawah comments, if there is anything I have witnessed firsthand in Dawah, it will be this. The whole world is literally against the true teachings of Islam. They will join forces. The funny part is that they all miserably fail. LOL. Ali Dawah, when everyone has a problem with you, it's time to stop and wonder. Maybe it's me with a problem and not everyone else. That is the time. Ali Dawah reminded me the joke with the captain. There was a captain and his sailors were shouting, "Captain, turn the wheel. We are heading to the rocks." And the captain replied, "No, I'm going straight. The world is turning."
So, as a Muslim woman, do you think what the Taliban are saying? Can you trust them? Have they really changed? Have they learned a lesson? Have they come to the correct understanding of Islam, or are you skeptical?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's really hard to say now because it's only been like a week or like 5 days that they have, taken over the land. And I mean, so far, what I've been watching on YouTube, there's this guy called Humayun Afghan. He's an interviewer, and he's on the ground in Afghanistan, and he interviewed the Taliban there currently right now, and he also interviewed like people regarding like, are you scared? Do you fear them? And majority of them, say positive things about them. So I mean, I personally don't care who's ruling the land, as long as secular governments are no longer there, right? And as long as the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being applied there, right? And I know for some women here in the West, that's really
I'm so sorry, Sister Mara. Forgive me for, I mean, just to me, like a lot of people watching this, I mean, the Western world watching a Muslim woman, 21 years old, Marwa in California, saying that she wants the secular law out of there is like, I mean, we came there to rescue you. We came there to, the white man's burden. We came there to, save you and away from this oppressive Taliban. And you're here, you want Sharia law and you don't want a secular government. Can you elaborate on that? Because that to me is profound. Someone watching this in the West are going to be like, gobsmacked.
Yeah.
Ali Dawah, you are asking a 21-year-old girl in California whether she likes Sharia. Do you think that is a smart thing to do? I mean, her opinion now matters. A 21-year-old girl in California that have never been to Afghanistan, she says that she likes Sharia in California. You think that is the arguments you are winning and the whole world is crazy? Ali Dawah, you think you are smart? So now you demonstrated that Sharia is good, eh? Because a 21-year-old girl in California said Sharia is okay. Well, we don't know. Maybe the whole world is wrong and you are right. Ali Dawah. Yeah. Maybe we are all deluded. Okay. Please continue.
Inshallah, Sister Marwa, yeah.
Yeah, so just hearing from my dad and my mom's stories, they left once the first time the Taliban came to Kabul. So the situation wasn't good, and my parents did not want their kids growing up in such a place with war and crime. So they decided to come to Tajikistan. And then after Tajikistan, they illegally went from Tajikistan to Russia. And then from Russia, we came to America.
Oh, this girl escaped Sharia in the first place. Her parents escaped the Taliban in the first place to go to California. But according to you, she makes an argument for Sharia.
Okay, so so let's go 20 plus maybe years ago. or exactly 20 years ago, actually, in September, it's going to be 9/11 happens. How did it impact you? Sister Maro, I don't know how old you was then, but
She was 0 years old. she, she was 0 years old after 9/11. Look. Ali Dawah asks a 21-year-old girl to tell him her thoughts what happened after 9/11. Before 21 years. She was 0 years old, my friend.
I don't know if you remember it, but how did it impact both of you guys? Because it did impact Muslims as a whole. I can remember when that happened. I used to live outside London. I was not a Muslim, and I was getting abuse, because I looked Muslim. So how did it impact you both?
Sister Marwa, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So when 9/11 happened, I was 1 year old. So I don't remember it that much, but just hearing from my dad and my mom's perspective, when we were in Russia, in Russia, my dad, he had, like, in Russia, there was a lot of racism against Muslims. And so when 9/11 happened, that kind of escalated to its max, to the point where my dad, when he would go to work, he would have to either take me or my younger siblings because the police would stop him. So
Ali Dawah, the results of 9/11 are because of 9/11, not because of racism. Let me repeat that. Ali Dawah, forget that. How can we communicate this information to this guy? Okay, Ali Dawah, get out of your body and think that you are intelligent. Or I don't know. Anyway, he won't get it. Let's communicate that to the people. Okay. Ali Dawah, the results of 9/11 is because of 9/11. It's not because of random racism. Can you get that, my friend? Now, who did 9/11? Political Islam, the ideology you aspise. So, the negativity you are describing now is because of the ideology you aspise. It's not because random racism.
but I don't really remember, like, from my own personal experience, I don't remember 9/11.
Okay. Brother Rahmatullah?
Akhi, before 9/11, I would like to give them a bit of background.
Yes.
Why 9/11 happened, why America invaded Afghanistan, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Just to, I'm not going to speak with more statistics and dates and year. I will go with the flow of the discussion so it's easy for everybody to understand what happened.
Yes, please, yeah.
It wasn't the trade center which made America to invade Afghanistan.
Okay.
What? What? It was not 9/11 that made America attack Afghanistan. Really? Okay, please tell us your psychopathology.
Okay.
America was involved in Afghanistan from 1991.
The Soviet?
Yes. They were funding the Mujahideen through Pakistan and Saudi Arabia to fight against the Soviet Union.
Yes.
And when they fought, the money was given as a form of donation or zakat, so on and so forth, from people from the Gulf countries like Emirat, Saudi, channeling through Pakistan to Afghanistan.
Just because USA gave money and arms to Taliban in the Cold War to fight the Russians, the Russian communists, that doesn't mean that USA made Taliban. Okay, let me give you the history who made Taliban.
Now let's talk about the last century, the 20th century. In the 20th century, there are two men in the Indian subcontinent whose names you need to know. One is Abdul al-Maududi, and the other one is Muhammad Ilyas. Muhammad Ilyas, in 1926, started a group called the Tablighi Jamaat there in central India. Now, the Tablighi Jamaat is a group, it's as radical as you can get. They are trying to take Muslims back to the Rashidun period, back to the period between 624 and 661, that 40-year period, which is the golden period of Islam, the beginning of the caliphate with Muhammad. When he died in 632, then you have Abu Bakr for 2 years. When he dies in 634, then you have Umar for 10 years. When he dies in 644, then you have Uthman for 12 years. When he dies in 656, then you have Ali, who then rules for 5 years. And then he's killed by the Sufyanis, Muawiyah, and started the beginning of the Umayyad Caliphate. So you have that 40-year period from 624 to 661. That's the Rashidun period. That's the golden era. And that's what all radical Muslims want us to go back to. The Al-Qaeda, the ISIS, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, and also the Tablighi Jamaat. They want to get us back to that golden era. The era of the four rightly guided caliphs. That was started in 1926 by Muhammad Ilyas. That group has grown and grown and grown and grown. It's in 120 countries. It has a membership of 80 million. Let me repeat that. A membership of 80 million. How many of you know about this group? Very few of you. Yet this is the largest radical group in the world today. In Britain, most of our imams are trained by the Tablighi Jamaat, the Deobandis. The Deobandi movement, which came out of Maududi. Maududi was another man, Abdul Maududi, who was there in Deoband. He grew up not too far from where I grew up. And in 1947, when India got its independence, he moved then to Pakistan, Western Pakistan at that time, and started the Jamaat-e-Islami group. The Jamaat-e-Islami group then took over many of these madrasas all up on the northeastern frontier. These madrasas, thousands of these madrasas, where they're spewing out talibés every year. They're graduating 1.7 million of these talibés every year. 1.7 million of these talibés who are disciples. The talibés became the Taliban. The Taliban then moved into Afghanistan, threw out the Russians, and then now, hold on right there, let's go back to Egypt. Let's go over to the Middle East again. Because while this was all happening in the 1920s with Maududi and also with Muhammad Ilyas, back in Egypt, over in Egypt, you have a man named Hassan al-Banna, who in the 1920s started another group called the Muslim Brotherhood.
There are two types of relations. First, the direct or originative. Second is the secondary or circumstantial. A direct relation is, for example, a mother with her child. Without the mother, it wouldn't have been a child. Secondary relation is a person with his friend. There is an association, but if the friend didn't exist, we will still have the person. Taliban have a direct connection with Islam. Without Islam, there wouldn't have been Taliban. Taliban have a secondary relation with USA. Without USA, we will still have Taliban, maybe less powerful. Of course, USA fought Taliban for 20 years. So, not even that is true. So, the next time an aggressive leftist or an Islamist tell you that USA made Taliban, bullshit. Taliban is a direct product of an ideology. There are schools of thought that produces Taliban. Every year, 1 million. We know their origins. We know their ideology. Okay, so it's not a mystery. Only ignoramus and glue-headed people will claim that USA is responsible for the Taliban.
Was in power. So what happened, those mujahideens, which were funded by the Americans were closely involved with them. But they took tribalism like Pashtun, Tajik, Uzbek, and Hazara, they took tribalism and they fought each other because of power. One wanted to become the prime minister, second wanted to become the minister or the president. They were fighting each other to a degree that the rape was common. The blocks and every road was there. For example, Pashtun wouldn't be able to travel to Tajik area. Tajik wouldn't be able to travel to Pashtun area. My sister is here. I'm sorry to say that they literally chop the breast of women in front of their men so they can degrade them. What they did, they chopped their heads. Both parties, all the warlords were involved in killing machines. In fact, there were roadblocks and the man would stand without any pant and would tell you when you're crossing that roadblock, either you pay me money, I will rape your woman in front of you. The man of the standing without any pants. Can you believe that? In fact, there were famous people which happened to later become the parliament MPs, known by the dogs because they used to eat and bite people and chalk their meats with their teeth. That was the situation, what happened. And CIA was heavily involved with these warlords, supporting them. For example, amongst them was Steve Cool, Black Cooper. They were literally working with Northern Alliance and forming different groups in that area. So what happened in 1994, the first military operation started by Taliban in Kandahar to defend the people, the ordinary people from these warlords and to protect them. And actually this started with the rape case of a girl who was raped forcefully. And this is a true story. If I'm a warlord and I see your wife is beautiful, I will just knock your door and take your wife and kill you. That's the true story. I mean, people can label it whatever they wanted. So there was no jihad, no Islam whatsoever.
No jihad, no Islam whatsoever. Who believes this? Who believes this? Is there any... My dog. Arachni. Who believes that? The Taliban. Taliban guys is like we say Christian monks. Let's call them from now on Islamic monks, to not be confused. The Taliban translates to students of Islam. Okay, to understand what's going on. They are Islamic monks, these guys. So, no connection to Islam whatsoever, eh? Is that what you like us to believe? It's culture. Guys, the Taliban culture is 100% Islam. There isn't anything else. Okay. If in these guys, to these guys, you propose something else other than Islam to do, they will chop your head. Okay. Their culture is 100% pure Islam. Okay. You saying no Islam whatsoever. Okay. That's impossible, my friend. These guys are Islamic monks, got out from Islamic schools. Okay, and everything in their culture is advice from Islam. You saying no Islam, it's simply wrong, my friend. Okay, and if you continue to say this nonsense, we can prove that they are completely Islamic. If we open the scriptures, your prophet did almost the same. He advised his soldiers to rape captives of war, chopping heads. Okay, your prophet did almost the same. So what not Islam? Now, think something. Okay, let's say it has nothing to do with Islam. The mere fact that these people went out from theological Islamic schools, what kind of character Islam installed in their minds? Imagine students coming out from the Vatican and doing this kind of monstrosities. What that tells about the Vatican? Imagine the students of Socrates, my friend. Okay, imagine in ancient Athens, the students of Socrates that come out from the school of Socrates, his students, going around raping people and cutting breasts, and what that tells about the school of Socrates? No connection whatsoever. Imagine the Christian monks, my friend. Imagine Christian monks going around chopping heads, raping women. What that tells about Christianity? No connection whatsoever. The character. What kind of character Islam gave to these people? What kind of character? Exactly the character of Muhammad, because Muhammad was exactly like that. Please.
I knew they'd be happy to see me, the king thought, and he began his speech.
Let's be clear about ISIL. They have rampaged across cities and villages, killing innocent, unarmed civilians in cowardly acts of violence.
The citizens of Rapistan erupted in laughter. Dear king, they said, our beloved prophet conquered all of Arabia in 10 years. What was his secret? He tells us in Sahih al-Bukhari, I have been made victorious with terror. Not negotiation, not compromise, certainly not hope and change. Terror. That was his secret, and the Quran commands us to imitate him. But the king ignored them and went on with his speech.
They abduct women and children and subject them to torture and rape and slavery.
So, the Rapistonians replied, torture, rape, and slavery are a problem? In Ibn Ishaq, Muhammad ordered his followers to torture a man named Kanana to find out where some money was hidden. The Muslims lit a fire on his chest to get him to talk. Then they chopped off his head. As for rape, after the Battle of Khaybar, Muhammad's companions asked if they could rape their captives in the presence of their husbands, who were still alive at the time. Allah gave us his answer in Surah 4:24 of the Quran, which says that we can rape them all we like. As for slavery, our Prophet enslaved thousands of people, and he had slaves himself, including black slaves, O king. He even had a sex slave, a young Christian girl named Mary the Copt. So when we torture, rape, and enslave people, we're only obeying our Prophet.
But why should
as
we
Allah
trust
commands.
David Wood? We know that he's an Islamophobe. And it's not like he's reading directly from the sources and giving quotes. So why should we trust him? You don't need to trust anything. Just look. Okay, we have the Taliban. This was culture. How about Boko Haram, who did the same in Africa?
In every region now has the decision to make. Either you are with us, I mean real Muslims whom are following Salaf footsteps, or you are with the Obama.
Let me think. We are with Obama. We will choose Obama in this case.
Francois Holland, George Bush, Clinton. I forgot not Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. Wow, you must be a scientist of history.
Ban Ki-moon.
That was culture again. Okay. So, Afghanistan, now Africa. It was again the culture. How about ISIS? Now Syria. Culture there also. ISIS, eh? Okay, so, let me get that straight. All around the world, we have terrorist groups, Islamic terrorist groups, exclusively doing the same things. But they all have the same culture. Syria, Africa. It's culture, eh? And it just happens. Muhammad did the same things in Islamic scriptures. Okay. please, Ali Dawah, please.
Let him talk,
Let me
guys.
talk.
Let him talk.
Okay. You can talk and you can
Yeah?
do whatever you want.
Just
to do what I
talk.
want to do.
Just don't kill people.
100%.
Talk. Go. Let him talk, guys. Muslims, let him talk. Go on.
He's about to cry, guys. He's an ethno-supremacist.
No, give him something. He might say, you're oppressing the Jews here. I don't want to even touch you. I feel disgusted of you, but anyways.
We're not like.
So now you are disgusted. With the Taliban, you were very forgiving. They are just good guys. Just good guys. Okay, they did some. With the Taliban, my friend, you were forgiving and tolerant. Okay, what they did. If the gentleman over there from Afghanistan and the girl didn't tell you, okay, what happened, you would have praised them. Maybe it's your culture. Now, so if we assume that is culture, how come you in Britain say these kind of things? Let's see.
There's a reason why there's a capital punishment. Because people like you, little weaklings, who leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it, the capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt. And we're proud of that. Yeah? Capital punishment will be applied in an Islamic state. Yeah? Not individuals going and doing it themselves like idiots. Yeah? No. Under an emir, it is done. Yes. And we'll be watching.
It is undeniable the sloppy and evil teachings in Islam, together with a terrible example of Muhammad, is printed on many Muslims' bad social behaviors. In an ideal, get reading of Islam would have solved immediately those social problems. But Islam is a way of life for billions of people that think Islam is good and love Islam. So the solution cannot be get reading of Islam altogether. But there is a red line. Political Islam will be defeated. There is no compromise with political Islam. So what this girl just said is wrong.
Hear them, and majority of them, say positive things about them. So, I personally don't care who's, ruling the land, as long as secular governments are no longer there, right? And as long as the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being applied there, right?
And we don't care what you think. Political Islam will be defeated ideologically with arms, on air, on sea, on the ground, in all ways, economically. Okay. Political Islam will die from this world. Okay. That's the red line. Okay. We don't compromise with political Islam. Political Islam will be defeated. Now, you Muslim, the sooner you realize that, the better. Okay, for everyone. The less suffering for everyone. But you need to realize that political Islam, Islam as a political ideology, will be defeated. Okay, Islamism will be defeated. The same way we defeated Nazism and communism. That's a simple fact. The sooner you realize that fact, the better for everyone. Thank you very much.